It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I had the privilege to interview the Newberry University head cheerleading coach, Justina Teale. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start coaching?
So I have been cheering for pretty much my entire life, and cheerleading has been like my safe haven. And that was just something that I knew leaving high school and cheering in college. I knew that I wanted to pursue coaching at the collegiate level. So I just kind of, I work for UCA, and so I was blessed to be able to have a lot of people who supported me in my journey to becoming a college coach. So I think a lot of it just, again, I love the sport. I think anyone who goes into coaching loves their sport. But I think that cheerleading for me has just always been that one thing that I was always good at and always provided me with kind of a safe haven. And so I always wanted to go into it just so that I could provide that for other athletes as well.
How did you know that you wanted to work on the college level?
I knew that when I started cheering in college. I came from a 2A high school, not really big. And for someone from such a small school, it's not really heard of for us to go to college and cheer. So for me, it was kind of like, doesn't matter kind of where you come from. If you have a dream and you pursue it, never stop. Just because someone says no, doesn't mean that that's the end of the road for you. So I just wanted to be able to become a college coach and just be able to tell all of my kids, it doesn't really matter where you come from. As long as you have a dream and you pursue it, that's really all you can do, and never let someone who tells you no, don't let that be the final answer.
What was your time like being the instructor for the Universal Cheerleaders Association?
It's been great. I actually still work for them. I went to UCA camps as a high schooler from freshman year all the way to senior year. And, watching it from the outside in, they are kind of like the best of the best. They get to go around all summer and teach cheerleading, and so it's something that we love. I think that now that I'm an instructor, I can say that all of my colleagues, we hold ourselves to a higher standard, and we love what we do. We want to share our love and our passion for cheerleading to the younger generation. And especially in today's world, cheerleading is a lot bigger than what it was, say, 20 years ago. And just being able to show them the correct way of technique and show them what's important. And, UCA really is big on tradition and family. And so that was something that I love about the company. And like I said, I still work for them, going on year 7, I believe. So it's definitely been a great experience working for them.
That's amazing. What are some of the things that you have accomplished at Newberry during the cheerleading program?
So this is year 2 for me. I started last year. And as of right now, I have accomplished just blending them all together. I think prior to me coming in, they kind of were individual athletes. They weren't a team. They were very much to themselves. So I think that for me as a coach coming in year 2, I can really say that they're more of a family now than what they were prior to me being here. Our first competition this year is in 2 weeks. So we haven't been able to compete since last year. Around this time, COVID hit, and so our season got canceled last year. So this will be our first time in a year since we've competed. So they're excited. I'm excited. So it's really fun.
What is a day in the life of a cheerleader at Newberry on game day?
Prior to COVID, and depending on if it's a night game or a day game, if it's a night game, then we will typically practice for a pregame around 3:00, and then they have from about 3 to 4:00 to finish getting ready if they're not finished. And then we have a pep rally that we do prior to the football game starting, and we also tailgate with our families. And so after we tailgate, we go over to the pep rally, and then from the pep rally, which is usually around 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we walk from the pep rally over to the pregame, which we typically do our pregame with our band. We go out on the field, we do our alma mater, Star Spangled Banner, and then we do our fight song, and then we do a tunnel, and then we have a really cool old car from an alumni that comes. It's decked out in Newberry, and our mascot Scar gets in the car, and a few cheerleaders and a few dancers get on the car, and then they run onto the field. And it's probably that car is the biggest part about Newberry's football atmosphere. I think everyone gets super excited when they see the car coming because they know that the football players are coming. So that's kind of the day in the life. And then we go through the game. Typically between first and second quarter, we do performance, and then between third and fourth, we do a performance. We usually do that with our dance team, and that's really the life. And then they get to leave, and then we start all over again. That's what their life is like on game day.
What is something that you learn now that you didn't know before becoming the head cheerleading coach?
Oh man, I think the biggest thing that I've learned so far is definitely having patience. I may not always be the most patient person, and I think that has been the biggest thing, is knowing that they're not going to always get it right the first time. It might take them a few times, and I think the biggest thing that I've learned for myself is that, and I tell my kids this too, like, it doesn't matter how old you are to accomplish something. I was 25 when I got the head coaching job. So pretty young. And, a lot of people told me that I wasn't ever going to be able to do anything. I wasn't ever going to be able to coach, especially because of my age. And, I try to tell them it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're passionate about something, don't let one no be the end of where you want to go.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give upcoming future cheerleaders looking to get started?
I think for future cheerleaders, I think the biggest thing is to research whatever school you want to go to. If you want to go to Newberry, reach out to me, ask what the requirements are. For some teams, there aren't any requirements for game day, and they might just have requirements for competition. Ask the coach if you can come to a practice, see how their coaching style is, see how the team blends together. Go to clinics. It's a little hard now with COVID. There aren't that many clinics, but go to clinics. Even if it's not at a school that you want to go to it. You might fall in love with it. I think the biggest thing is, be prepared, prepare yourself. Again, the more work you put into it, the more you will get out of it. So that's what I would say.
What is the recruitment prospect like for prospective student athletes looking to get into cheerleading?
I can only say for our school. So what typically happens is I go around the state in South Carolina, and kind of like any other recruiting process, I go to schools And then if I see any athletes that I potentially think would be an amazing addition to our team, I talk with their coach, get their contact information, and then from there I reach out to them. They come on an official visit, and then from there, if they want to come, then they'll, after their official visit, I'll have them come back one more time, just to meet more one-on-one with the team. And then if they're still like, yes, I want to come, from there I will offer them scholarship money. I think that's one thing that is really cool about Newberry, is that we actually have the opportunity to offer scholarship money. Many programs in South Carolina don't offer scholarship money for cheerleading. So I'm one of the, I think, probably 3 schools in the state that actually offers scholarship money. So that's really cool.
On the official visit, of course, do they just see like what the process is like as a cheerleader on game day?
So no, I let them come whenever is best for them. So sometimes it'll be during game day. Sometimes it'll be when we're practicing. So they just come through, they go through admissions, so that they can talk with an admissions counselor, kind of talk to financial aid if they need to talk to financial aid. And then halfway through their tour, I will meet with them, kind of show them where we practice, what our facilities look like. I usually have 1 or 2 of my athletes with me in case they're too scared to ask me, they can ask them. And then from there, if they decide they want to stay for practice, and they can stay for practice. Typically, a lot of them get excited about practice, so they usually stay. And so then they can kind of watch just how we work and run everything.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give upcoming cheerleader coaches looking to get started?
I think the one advice that I would give to someone who is a cheerleader who wants to become a coach, or pursuing to be a coach, is really just get the experience. Even if it's just volunteering as a volunteer coach, being able to get as much experience and as much background as possible, and be able to see different coaching styles so that you can make your own. I think that's the biggest thing, is the way that I coached last year is a little bit different than I coached this year, because I learned. The more that you are experienced, and the more that you go through, the more that you're going to learn. So the biggest thing is, never stop learning, because I think the biggest thing as a coach is you shouldn't stop learning. If you are satisfied with where you're at and you don't want to learn anymore, then that's not okay. You want to show your athletes that you are trying to be better every single day. That's what I tell my kids. I don't want to be the same person I was yesterday, because that's no good. I don't want to be the same person. I want to be better. And that requires change. So
that's wonderful. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the cheerleading program at?
So they can follow us on Facebook, and it is Newberry College Cheerleading Program. And then on Instagram, it's NC Cheer, or Newberry Wolves Cheer. And that is where we're at on social media.
Thank you again, Coach Justine, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Newberry.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.